Hi y'all, welcome back. We were gonna go do, like we talked about in the last video, we were gonna go maybe do some splitting today with the skid loader splitter that I built, which I wanted to show you, but the weather's been up and down, and most importantly, my brand new Kubota SV75 skid loader is in the shop due to a catastrophic hydraulic leak. I was running a mower on it out of mom and dad's house, which we'll get back out there, I promise. We just had so much damn rain over the last 3 days, you can't hardly walk through the yard without falling to hell. So, anyways, I thought maybe we'd go outside and do a little walkabout here at my homestead in northern Illinois. Got my sister-in-law in town this weekend, so the ladies were up late last night doing what they do, cackling and partaking in some beverages. We'll get outside here. It's a beautiful morning. It's a little cloudy. Yesterday it was about 100 degrees and the humidity is just, oh Jesus, you could just wear it. So it's a little chewy. Let me show you what Dad and I went and picked up down in Mendota, Illinois last Wednesday, I think. We've been in the market for a dump trailer, but I mean, they're just so damn expensive, and I wanted to buy one like Chris in the Woodyard has. It's an N&N. They're made in Canada, and anyways, they're galvanized. So here in northern Illinois, I mean, everything you buy, you might as well consider as disposable because of the salt that they spread. Here, let me set this down and I'll stand back a little bit. Because of the salt that they spread on the road, I mean, and it's from, it's 7 months of the year here. Our summer's like 4.5, 5 months long. So we're just like 30 miles south of Rockford. But anyways, so what happens, not to get off course too much, but they get an allotted amount of money to spend on salt. And if they don't use it all every year, it goes down year after year. So, I mean, if it's 50 degrees in April and it's raining, they're going to spread salt just to get rid of it and empty the barn out. So that's why all of our vehicles go through a strenuous weight reduction program through the course of their life. Here, I'll show you. Bought this, and it's a beauty. 1979 GMC 3500. Just a standard wheelbase, 8-foot box. It's got a small block and a 4-speed in it with granny low. And, 2,500 bones. I don't know how many miles are on it at this point in the game. It doesn't matter anymore, but there's what I mean by weight reduction. It's pretty common. It's hard to find anything that's worth a hoot in Illinois at this age. She's just gone, boys. She's gone, but, less sheet metal, the faster it goes, right? It's got a dump bed. There's a little bit of wear in there. There's some holes, but we're just going to use it for around Dad's farm and hauling firewood and whatever else. So sturdy tailgate, it's got the pintle hitch on the back, whatever. It's got the, standard. Oh yeah, she's gone, bud. She's gone. There's nothing about it. And then, that's pretty common with the truck of the age too. But man, it runs and drives great for an old truck. The brakes work good. The guy's like $2,500. I'm like, gosh darn it, I think I could probably put cab corners on it, sell it for $5,000. I mean, it just sits and idles beautiful. But anyways, I thought maybe we'd go for a little walk and show you where my firewood goes for a hot minute. My buddy gave me 12 of these IBC totes, so I ripped the bladders out of them and cut the fronts out. And this is about, here, let me see. I think it's about 6 foot. So I'm 5'10". It's a little bit taller than me, whatever else. But anyways, I just can't get the hang of that camera she bought me to use, so we're going to do this on this one today. So there's 12 totes total. They're all 6 feet tall and double stacked with 16-inch firewood. This is white oak. There's some red oak, and you can see there's some cherry in there. Anyways, I ran out of totes, so this is what's left on my trailer. I've got just poking around to find something cheap on the internet, and I was looking at Allen Family Firewood. And he just uses skids and 1x12s, and he puts a rope across the top of them, and that looks like it's good enough for me. So there's all of it. I think I measured it out, and if anybody knows the dimensions of the IBC tote, it's about 5.5 cords. So I still need a couple, but we got some white elm trees out in the timber. I was going to show you just a little poking around here. Oh, there's one of my fence panels that we were going to put a fence around this out of our raised bed garden area. Because of the wind. You see that cornfield behind us, that field's like 250 acres. And until the corn gets high enough to block the wind, man, these vegetables, they just can't stand it. There's our anemic grape plants. I just don't know what to do to make them go. Maybe it's where we live. And that little guy, he's 2 years old, and boy, he's just barely poking along. He's barely 1.5 feet tall. We did some poking around, and she found out that if you put marigolds in there, it helps with the bugs on the tomatoes. The slugs don't like it, but they're doing real good, man. They're 6 feet tall. We've been building these boxes a couple of years just because of the price of the lumber. So we'd like to add about 4 more of them, but there's the green beans. Boy, they're 8 feet tall for sure. They're just starting to come into. They're so good. Anyways, we built these. Here's our arch nemesis in northern Illinois. You, sir. You are the cause of this. So I see they're back again, a few of them. Anyways, we put 7 on it, but gosh darn, how much 7 can you put on there and still eat? We built cages and, you know, put beans. There's two varieties of Great Lakes green beans, and there's another pole bean maybe. I'm not exactly sure. And then Amanda, my wife, she does her little herb stuff here, and she dries them in the house. And here's what we did with the potatoes. Now, the reason I put these potatoes in these bags and on these skids is because we have voles, and they like to eat everything that grows underground. So this is effort. It's our 3rd year with potatoes, rather. And then you can see that the foliage is dying on them. So today, after it dries up a little bit, I'll get the little green bean out, and we can put the forks on it, and we'll pull it inside the building, because they said that when the leaves start dying, it's important to get them out of the rain, or else the potatoes will rot. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we do a little bit of rain collection, because sometimes we're just coming out of a severe dry spell here in Illinois, where we hadn't had any rain in weeks and weeks, and then it just rained 3 inches in the last 2 days. But there's like 50 gallon anyways. There's a little water skipper in there, a little skipper. Anyways, I bought this Milwaukee pump, and if you have a 6 ampere-hour battery, it'll drain 1 barrel through a sprinkler. So I bought 2 batteries for it, and then we put the sprinkler up on top of that thing on a couple of 2x6s on top of that frame, and it almost gets the whole garden. So if you ran, after work while we're having a couple beers, if it's dry, we'll just plug that in and let it drain the barrels out. Have a couple of cold snacks while we're waiting. So I just wanted to put something out there. I felt like hell because I hadn't done anything in a couple weeks, and my back has still been kind of not awesome. But anyways, that's going to probably do it for right now. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something later on. We could go walk through the chicken coop real quick. Why don't we do that? Let's walk down there. You got time. What the hell? We'll just take a little walk through here. We got almost 4 acres in northern Illinois, and I mow the whole thing. That is our squash patch. We didn't do squash this year because, well, they just take over everything. I mean, Jesus Christ, you plant one seed and it takes over half of Ogle County and is enough to feed 400 people. So we've got this little shed down here. It's cold storage in the wintertime. I put my dad's boat in there. And our people hauler for parades, we built a people hauler out of one of my granddad's John Deere running gears back from the 30s or 40s that he bought new. And then one wagon went to hell. Why? Dad just took it and put it in the timber, and then a few years ago we got it out. I'll show it to you. Settle down, all right? We're getting there. My legs are short. We did dabble in chickens for a couple years, so my wife and I built this little pen for them out of stuff we just picked up at Menards. I think we probably got maybe $300 or $400 in this pen with these panels. And then as you can see, I put a roof on it just so the girls could, not get rained on. And then it turns out I did this because we got coyotes all over the place, when we both work, so we're not here all day. But it turns out they like to just run around the yard and they don't really need a pen. And then they all got sick and died. So we haven't really relived it yet. I need to get in there, but it's just a little gate to get in there. And I think it's probably 8 by 14, something like that. Anyways, we put all the little toys and stuff out there and had their diatomaceous earth for the dust bath. And then this is it here. I kind of went a little bit overboard, but that's how this Illinoisan rolls. Hello? So this is a little stock room that we built. A friend of mine and I just put chipboard on it or whatever else, and we insulated it and wrapped it. And then we put sheet metal on the outside. I'll show you. We didn't have no power down here. Didn't have any power. Sorry, I'm a hillbilly. Verified. So I hired an electrician to run a line down here. It was a pretty reasonable price. And this is where the girls live. So we just put cement floor, keep it clean. And we put a window in here, and then we put a fan. And we ran an outlet over here because it is insulated. And then she bought a heater, and it's just a little small radiant, like a 1,000 watt heater, and it keeps it, above freezing in here. And then the trap door there for my boy can come out and open it up and close it. And I just built it out of scraps that I had laying around, just one buys and what have you. And anyways, that rope goes up overhead, across the top there, and through the wall. And then when he comes down before he goes to school, so he don't get chicken poop on his shoes, he can let the girls out. And he'd just pull this and clip it right there on that hook. And then he goes to school. So we've just been using it for cold storage, but it's been brought to my attention that we're going to probably get some pullets before fall. She's wanting to step it up and start doing eggs again. I don't know if you can see this or not, but we're going to walk out here anyways. There's our people hauler we built. Like I said, I'm just killing time, guys, showing you around the place a little bit. Too cold or too wet to go out in the timber. It's like a 1945 or 1940 John Deere gear. And Dad and I built this square tube frame, rolled the fenders, and like I say, we got a little weld shop there. We rolled them fenders and then put a little frame around them and bought some treated lumber. And then we painted her up. Of course, there's a little area down underneath there for a cooler, for the cold snacks. Because if you're gonna, if you're in a parade, you might as well have a cold snack or whatever you want. We trucked all this. This was just a dirt floor in here. This is my next project. I got to do something with this. But my buddy Chad and I had found some used sheet metal, and we totally unboxed the chicken coop room in after. So it's got a sheet metal roof on it too, so the coons and other critters can't get in there. But anyways, it's Greenfields Green Acres out here. We thought about starting some kind of a hillbilly podcast in here. That's why we put new windows in. We thought we might need an air conditioner, but then that just kind of petered out. With 42 million podcasts about being a hillbilly on the internet, nobody's going to tune into mine. Even though I do have a strange gift of being able to run my mouth for extended periods of time about absolutely nothing in particular. So this wall, let me show you. Whoopsie doodle. Put this rock down here because that wall was kind of starting to fade out a little bit. But anyways, that got it under control. Yeah, that kind of bummed me out. I was getting around. We wanted to make a video this weekend with the skid loader. And, like I said, unforeseen issue with the hydraulic system. And I bought it from Raider Equipment over in East Butte. And I called those guys on the phone. I'm like, man, this thing is, something's hooched. We got a mess in the engine compartment. And the dude's, I'll call you back in 2 minutes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're coming to get it right now. We're going to bring you we're going to bring you a loaner. I'm like, you don't need to bring me a loaner. Don't worry about that. Just get mine fixed. We're just going to, I'll put a couple hours on it a week, whatever. But anyways, that's where we're headed. So, it's kind of a bummer. But anyways, I hope you liked the little tour here. And I hope you thought my dump truck was awesome, because it is. All the cool kids that got them in Illinois. Yeah, but that dump trailer, we'll have to revisit that. I'm a little bit financially committed with the skid loader and some other stuff right now. So this old red wreck is going to have to get it. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. And we'll see you on the flip-flop.